Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is MattTv, now and always from sea to sea. Thank you, Simon McGinnis, for that. And I'm just so excited. I'm just going to start off by saying that I'm so stoked for the viewing audience. I just received a piece of production from a friend of mine who, Randy Boxwell, I'm just going to throw his name out there right now. Randy Boxwell. Let me refresh my page. Hang on one sec here. You'd think I'd know how to do that once in a while, right? Come on now. It's a Tuesday night, and we're just getting started here. This is a live MattTv, Facebook Live. Here we are. Sorry. Anyone recognize this shirt? I've only had this shirt on a few times. The first time I wore this shirt, I bought it specifically for my first attempt at Yuck Yucks. It went as expected. First time comic, sober, no swearing. That's a tough act. I don't care who you are. That is a tough act. Anyway, I bought this shirt for my first performance at Yuck Yucks, and yeah, I did it twice. I know. Sucker for punishment. A sucker for punishment. Anyone who has seen the show knows that I get easily sidetracked, which is why I have notes. Hello, Denise. Hello, Aaron. I got to get to the comments here. Hang on. The subject tonight, Aaron, is all kinds of stuff. We're going to be all over the place. But before I get too far into the show, I want to shout out right now to Randy Boxwell, who he was thinking about doing this for me and the show last night. I guess he thought about it all night, and that's why I was a little bit late getting on here, maybe 20 seconds into the 6 o'clock hour I get on. But I was watching the piece of production that Randy Boxwell sent me. So thank you so much, Randy. I really appreciate that. And I will incorporate that into the show at some point. But thank you so much, man. I love it. Love you. And so glad that we could hang out while I was back east. So if you want to see what Randy did, if you want to see what Randy produced, you can go to my Facebook page and you'll see it there. Hello, Denise. Hello, Aaron. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. And I had another friend over the house last night, and I'm going to talk about him and what he's going to do for the show. And it comes right back to just putting it out into the universe. Just put it out into the universe. I did see it on my page, Randy. Thank you so much. I did. I appreciate it, man. I was a little bit late getting started because I wanted to see. It was literally just refreshing on my page, so I had to watch it in its entirety to really appreciate it. So thanks, Randy. Appreciate it. Hey, Wayne, what's going on, brother? So, yeah, I'm going to get to some theme music news coming up here in just a bit. But first, we're going to do, as always, we'll do the last 24 brought to you by Nick. Wayne the Great product plug, Toby's Edmundston weather, and William's wacky soundbite of the night. And that soundbite comes from last night's Pens Sens game. So we'll get to that in just a moment. So, speaking of, and anyone who has watched MattTv knows that the last 24 is basically just me summarizing what I have done in my life from the moment I got up out of the chair to sitting back down in the chair. So I'm in the chair 6 o'clock at night. I get out at 7, so really it's only 23 hours. But the last 24 brought to you by a Nick just sounds better than the last 23 brought to you by a Nick. No offense to Nick, and I'm so glad that your name is associated with this first segment of the show. So, what did I do last night? Well, after the show, I went in and caught the third period of the Pens-Sens game. Great hockey game. I was watching all the highlights, and the one player that really fascinated me, the one player that really stood out and turned out to get the game-winning goal was Phil Kessel. And they were showing clips at the end of the game. I think Ron and Don were on at the end of the game, and they were just basically highlighting how frustrated, how much desire to win, but he was really frustrated. You could see in the clips last night he was hollering at his own players on the bench. He was like, give me the puck, give me the puck. Phil Kessel wanted to win that game last night, and you know what Phil Kessel did? Phil Kessel won that game last night for the Sens. No, not the Sens, the Pens. See, they're so close together. Good on you, Phil Kessel. So that soundbite is going to come from Phil Kessel a little bit later on. It's going to be William's wacky soundbite of the night. So we'll get to Phil Kessel in a moment, and I have some interesting tidbits about Phil Kessel that maybe you didn't know. And I found it on Wikipedia, so you know it's true. Hey, Randy, how are you, brother? You can never rush laundry. You can never make sure the whites are separated. You don't want that red shirt in with the whites. You know, that cliche moment in every sitcom that's happened at least once. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. Anyway, great hockey game last night. Congrats to Phil Kessel. He just took over. He took over. He wanted to win. Boom! Got to win. That series is tied up. And a great game going on right now. We have the Anaheim Ducks and Nashville Predators. I was watching it before I came in here. I'm just seeing if I can find the score here. It's got to be end of the first. It's got to be end of the first. It is end of the first, scoreless, Anaheim in Nashville. An interesting stat about Nashville, if you are a Predators fan, in 9 home playoff games, they haven't lost. So that's a good stat going into the next 2 games in Nashville. So that series is all tied up 1 apiece. And say what you want to say about PK Subban. He's got to be all right, right? He's in the NHL. He can't be that bad. He can't be that bad. He's probably a good guy. Probably a good guy. So, hockey game last night. But then we had, again, this is just the last 24. I'm just bringing you up to speed on what I've done in my exciting life in the last 24 hours. Heavy rain last night here on the South Coast. A lot of heavy rain here on the South Coast last night. It puts me to sleep. I love the sound of rain. I love the sound of rain at night. It's just so soothing, so calming. But we've had but it was weird because we had rain down here in White Rock, and I woke up this morning watching the global news, and weather forecaster, meteorologist Mark Madriga was reporting that there was snow. There was snow last night up on the local ski hills, Grouse Mountain, probably Grouse, Cypress. But I saw the footage. That it was actually snowing overnight in the North Shore Mountains. So the Grouse Grind, anyone that knows the Grouse Grind, that's not open yet. Because you'd need snowshoes right now to do the Grouse Grind, and we know that's not safe. Hello, Anna. How are you? Hope all is well. So heavy rain. Beautiful day here today. It was a nice day here today. And this nice weather, I just want to say, I had a great show last night. I had a lot of fun last night, and I didn't realize till after the show that there were over 100 comments. There is no way that I can keep track of the comments as I'm doing the show because I'm staring at the phone here most of the time, and comments are going by. So if you say something to me and I don't get back to you, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just that I have no idea that you even have sent a message because they're flying by pretty quick, and I'm not really looking at my laptop that often, unless I get to the stories, which I will in a moment. Yes, I'm hoping that you like the video that Randy Boxwell put up on my timeline. Probably. Thank you, Randy. So nice day here today. Had the opportunity to work in South Surrey, working at the boss's house. It's just nice to be removed from the hustle and bustle. You're really away from the metropolitan areas. You're not in downtown Surrey or New West Vancouver. You're out in the country. So I appreciate the opportunity to do some work, and I'm only 10 minutes from home. So that was a good day. But some really dark clouds rolled in. And I'm wondering, if you work outside and you see dark clouds rolling in and it just starts to sprinkle a little bit, do you just say, oh, we're going to shut her down. We're going to seek shelter, and we're just going to wait it out. And then nothing happens. 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes go by. You're like, whoa, we don't want to get all geared up and then have to take our gear off because it's not raining. So I didn't waste too much time today, but the dark clouds were there, and I hesitated, and then I just said, you know what? I don't care. And then it never rained. Oh, that was a crazy path I just went down. Pretty crazy. I think that was a black diamond path. That was a triple black diamond path. That's one of the signs when you just look at it and you just turn around and go the other way. You just do a complete 180 and go the other way because you know it's too dangerous. So sometimes you just look at the path, and you just go. And I know there's a lot of you right now that are, your head's looking at me like this, like a dog hearing a high frequency pitch. You're just looking at me like, what is he talking about? But let me set the record straight. This is all ad lib. There's no teleprompter here. This is unscripted. This is 60 minutes unscripted. This is just me having fun. And I'm so thankful that there are people literally across the country watching the show tonight. Just let me, I can scan here. I see Wayne Mason, Kim, Sarah, Denise, Randy, Catherine, William. The lucky seven. The lucky seven. So thanks for tuning in, because like I said, this is 6 o'clock Pacific. It's 9 Eastern, 10 Atlantic, 10:30 Newfoundland. So there's a huge time zone discrepancy, and I'm always very grateful, very appreciative of those that tune in. And if you watch live, that's awesome. And if you watch it on your leisure, whenever you so choose, that is equally as awesome. We're going to get to the product plug here real quick. I know Wayne is in here. I'm going to do the Wayne the Great product plug. And from now on, I think I'm going to keep this stuff in a cup, because if I show you the box that it's in, or the packaging, if I show you the packaging, it's pretty easy. So everything from now on is going to be in a cup or a glass, so you can at least see the product, right? Yes, William did let me know about the ticket, and it seems that I picked out a non-winning ticket for William. I did not know that when I picked it out. I thought for sure water. Yes, the good one, Wayne. Yeah, you know, when I purchased that ticket, I thought for sure it was going to be a winner. It was not, but that was a lot of fun. It's always fun to gamble. No, that is it can be. It can be. Okay. I just want to. I talked a lot about putting things out into the universe and manifesting, putting thoughts out there, positive thoughts. And a couple of days ago, I thought to myself, you know, I'm always looking to make this show better. I have so many concepts and so many ideas that I think I'm doing a pretty good job of just trying to squeeze everything into 60 minutes, even though it's a lot of rambling and bambling and blah, blah, blah. I actually say blah, blah, blah a lot. Oh, here's what I was thinking. Can you imagine if this show was? Imagine if everything was scripted for me. Imagine if I had to read off a teleprompter. You know who I would feel bad for? You know who I'm going to feel bad for when this show gets to a point where I'm actually reading off a teleprompter? I feel bad for the person that's got to write this stuff. How are they going to keep up with me? How are we going to write? Oh, my head almost exploded. This is so much fun. You have no idea. This is my home. This is my home. This is where I want to spend the rest of my days entertaining you while you entertain me. And you're thinking, well, how do we entertain the host of a show? Just interact with me, brother. Interact with me. It's all good. You know, when you send me videos of the ha 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 ha, then I know you must be having a good time. How can you not have a good time here? Like I said, if you want negative news and you want negative energy, watch CNN. Watch NBC. Just watch your local newscast for the first 10 minutes. And if you're not turning it off or muting it or saying a prayer. So if you want that kind of stuff, you know where to go. CNN, the most trusted name in news. Really? Really? Hello, Tanya. How are you? Welcome to MattTv. Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock here on the Pacific Coast, 9 Eastern, 10 Atlantic, 10:30 in Newfoundland. So, getting back to ideas and concepts and how I want to make this show bigger, better, incorporate more ideas, bring more people along for the ride. A few nights ago, I was thinking to myself that I need some theme music. I would like to have an opening theme for the beginning of the show. Just a few seconds where people can just get settled into your chair. Make sure you have your remote. Make sure all your settings are nice. Make sure you have your phone on Do Not Disturb so you can just sit, chill out, and hang out for 60 minutes. But I want to have music at the beginning of my show. So I threw it out there last night that I would be looking for someone who would like to contribute to the show musically. That thought was out there for 12 hours. No, we're not going to install anything. Hang on. That thought was out there for 12 hours. I put it out to you last night during the show. And after the show, a great buddy of mine, I've talked about him often, Joe Desmond, who is a musician. He's an actor. He's a voice actor. He does everything. And he teaches music to kids here in White Rock. So he came over last night after the show, and he saw the studio. And I have to get him in here. He's an individual that I have to have on the show. But I asked him, I said, you know what, why don't you give me some examples of theme music for the show? And my suggestions were, hey, John, how are you? I want the opening theme music to have an 80s feel to it. I'm an 80s guy. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's going to be now and always from C to C. So theme music. So I'm telling Joe about this last night. Joe goes home, and today he sent me a text. He sent me a rough draft of the opening theme music that will be the opening theme music to this show. It's piano and him singing, and I couldn't be more thrilled with what he put together just by sitting down and recording something on his iPhone. I can't wait for the finished production. I'm going to leave that up to Joe. That is Joe's. That's Joe's baby. He's going to look after that. And when it is ready to be revealed to you, fully produced, then that is the moment that I will do that. But so thankful for Joe Desmond, who just popped in here last night, wasn't here 10, 15 minutes, went home and sent me something today that I will use in the show. So just going back to putting it out into the universe, don't just put it out there. You don't have to worry about the how. How is it going to happen? How is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Let the universe take care of it. Just put it out there. Put it out there. Operate on a higher frequency, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at what happens. It's a lot of fun. So, long story short, there is theme music, opening theme music, going to be a part of MattTv coming up in the very near future, and you'll be the first one to hear it. Well, I'll be the first one to hear it. Actually, Joe will be the first one to hear it. I'll hear it second and sign off on it, and then you'll hear it. So you'll hear it third. But we'll all hear it on the same day. That I can guarantee you. Also going on with production, my wife Jen is doing some awesome production. She is such an amazing artist. She does so many things. There is nothing that she has tried and not succeeded at. She's doing a beautiful crochet art. I want to say crochet art, but they're blankets. Wow, you can probably hear that low-flying helicopter. We're live. We are 5 blocks from the beach. That's just a really low helicopter. Yes, Catherine. Yes, I totally agree. Just the universe, put it out there, and the universe will provide. So I'm having some new MattTv pins are being made. I definitely want to put out make some more t-shirts. But if I'm going to send, first of all, I have to figure out how many people would be interested in a MattTv t-shirt. Once I get a number, I can get those shirts made, and then I have to figure out how much it's going to cost to send everything back east. I would like to just do like a bulk send back east. Of course, that depends on if anyone is even remotely interested in wearing a MattTv t-shirt. I would. Hello, Carolyn. How are you? So that's happening. And as always, and I'm just going through the last 24, and I know this takes up quite a bit of time because I'm a Grant, and I love to talk. Yes, I could talk to ear off a deaf person, pretty sure. Can everyone hear me okay? Wayne Mason, if you're still there, the product plug is coming up real soon. I thought the helicopter. Oh, wow. Well, that must be a really good microphone. Must have an amazing microphone. Wayne Mason, I think you're still here. Product plug's coming up very soon. While I'm getting ready for the show, I listen to C103, which is Moncton's rock station, the rock of the Atlantic. I love the music on C103. A little plug out to Dude, who does Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 3. And he does pirate radio Saturday nights from 9 to 11 with Crawdaddy from Crawdaddy's Shed. Woo! Now, can you imagine? Imagine if that was on a teleprompter. What speed would that have to be on to keep up with me? Because I talk really fast. I talk really fast. People are putting comments really fast, which unfortunately I don't get a chance to read most of the comments until later on because I'm looking at my phone. So, C103, I listen to them, my pre-show when I'm in the green room, and I just noticed that Jim Conrad, a voice actor, Jim Conrad, who was a former TSN voiceover guy, does a lot of the station imaging on C103. I love Jim Conrad. He's got a great set of pipes. He is my inspiration. He is my professional inspiration. As a voice actor, there are some people in the Lower Mainland that I strive. I don't want to be them because there is enough work in this industry for everybody. Your voice is suited for the project that it's suited for. There's no competition. But a shout out to Jim Conrad. I haven't met the guy, but I want to meet the guy. I want to work with the guy. So I just put that out into the universe, and I'm sorry if I'm pointing. It's just a pointy thing that I have. I'm going to put that out into the universe because I know there are some people out here who have been in the voiceover business for a long, long time. And there's nothing that says I can't work right alongside them. That's the attitude you got to have. TSN voice guy he's my inspiration. And the last note I had was I need better lighting in here. Just a quick question. Yes or no? Two teleprompters indeed. Yeah, that's, like I said, I would feel bad, and it would probably be me. How would you... I couldn't imagine putting all the dialogue into a teleprompter for me for 60 minutes. That just seems like... unfair. It seems unfair to the person that's got to do it. Maybe I'd have to do it. I don't know. Okay, that was the last 24 brought to you by Nick. Thank you, Nick. Woo! Okay. That ate up 22 minutes of time, and that's just the first segment. But that's okay. Okay, this is a segment that I love to do. And the reason I love to do it, because the real winner in this is me. So, hello Laura, how are you? You're just in time for Wayne the Great's product plug. And again, all the products now, and I will eventually have to get away from the sweets eventually. But all the products are going to be in a glass cup because you're just too good. And you were guessing very quickly. And so, again, hello Susan, how are you? This is the Wayne the Great product plug for the night. So, can anyone tell me what is in this cup? This is Wayne the Great product plug. I'll just take a little bit of a breather here, just go over a few notes, maybe check the score of the hockey game. What is in the cup? This is tonight's Wayne the Great product plug. Guess away! Yeah! I swear to you, this is water. This is water. I haven't had a drink of alcohol in probably 10 years. Cheers! Oh, are you kidding me? Mint chocolates? Okay, seriously, people? Seriously? Yes. I'll have to go back, but I'm pretty sure Wayne Mason was the first one to guess, but you're right. They are junior mints. Incredible. Incredible. Hey, Richard, what's going on, brother? It was good to see you. Unfortunately, under not the right circumstances, but always good to see family. Hope all is well. Yeah, you're right. I think Wayne was the first one for this. Junior mints. How did you know? Like, seriously. How can you tell those are junior mints from this? Oh, they're your favorite. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, like I said, the real winner in this is me. I'm not going to stop 4. I know, Wayne, that they are your favorite candy, and I'm chewing on 4 of them. Steven, what's up, brother? Those are good. Minty. All right, that was good. Now, that was Wayne the Great product plug. Junior mints. Too easy for you people. Okay. moving right along. This is a segment that will always be part of the show for as long as I can take it. Toby's Edmundston weather. We are getting ready for a May-long weekend. The weather has finally broke here on the south coast of British Columbia. Gorgeous afternoon. Some dark clouds, but no rain. We're looking at sunshine tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We are in for a stretch. Woo! We're in for a stretch of nice weather. So, what's the weather going to be like in your neck of the woods this May-long weekend? Are you going to get a chance to go out and do some canoeing, some hiking, camping, fiddleheading? Anyway, this is Toby's Edmundston weather. So this is weather just in the Edmundston area. So tonight, clear, 5 degrees. Tomorrow, chance of showers, 16. Chance of showers for Thursday and Friday. But going into the long weekend in Edmundston, Saturday, sunny and 14. Sunday, sunny and 18. Those might be the 2 days you want to get out and have some fun, because Monday it looks like clouds are back and a chance of showers, 13 degrees. That is Toby's Edmundston weather. Quick score in the hockey game. Halfway through the second period, it is still scoreless in Nashville. And I said earlier, an interesting stat about Nashville Predators: in 9 home games, they are unbeaten. They are unbeaten in their last 9 home games. So a good stat if you're a Predators fan. So we'll keep an eye on that. Which takes me, just quickly, staying with hockey. William, you're in here. Your video froze up. Uh-oh. Should be okay there now. It's probably on your end. I can tell when there's a technical issue on my end. It basically, a little box comes up and says trying to reconnect. So it may be a bad connection on your end. The squirrel's got to run a little faster, get that charge going. Soundbite of the night. This is William's wacky soundbite of the night. And this was inspired by Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel last night had... Now, I missed the first and second period of the Pens-Sens game, but I saw the third period. And Phil Kessel scored the winning goal. The only goal of the game. He scored it. And after the game, Don Cherry, Ron McLean were sitting side by side, and they were discussing the play of Phil Kessel. So they had a montage of all these clips throughout the game where they were showing his frustration, his anger, and at some point during the game, he was actually taking his frustration out on the coaches, on other players. Give me the puck. Eventually, he was given the puck. He scored. And I just thought, wow, that's... When someone is determined, when someone wants to make a difference, they can actually do it. And that's exactly what Phil Kessel did. All night long, he was like, look, guys, I'm the man. Give me the puck. I'll get the job done. That's exactly what happened. So, Phil Kessel was pretty pumped up during the game, which brings me to William's wacky soundbite of the night. This is another individual. From a different sport altogether. But this guy is jacked up. And I just want, at the end, have a listen to it. Have a listen to the whole thing. If you are a wrestling fan, if you are old school wrestling, back in the 80s, 90s, see if you can recognize this wrestler in tonight's Williams Wacky Soundbite of the Night.
Most well-known, the best looking, the best dressed, custom-made clothes, gold around my neck, Rolex watch around my wrist, my shoes cost more than your house. Drive a Lincoln Continental, a Mercedes, a Rolls, own a Corvette, live in the biggest house on the biggest side of town, jet airplane, and I got a limousine sitting out there a mile long with 25 women just dying for me to go. Woo!
All right, that was William's Wacky Soundbite of the Night. Does anyone know who that was? Of course, now it wasn't Phil Kessel. But did you know Phil Kessel? It's Phil Kessel Jr. Yeah, he's going to be 30 in October. He's from Madison, Wisconsin, and he has a brother Blake and a sister Amanda. But you didn't know that about Phil Kessel, did you? Aside from the game-winning goal last night, he's only 29. He's from Madison, Wisconsin, and he has a brother Blake and a sister Amanda. And does anyone know who that was? Can anyone tell me who that soundbite was? Someone in the wrestling community. I know if Dude was on here, if Darren O'Donnell, Dude was on here, he would know immediately who that was. Yes, it was Ric Flair. Woo! Ric Flair. That was a classic. I actually just pulled that video off of YouTube. I know that you just heard the sound, but they have one of those YouTube to MP3 converters. So you can take anything from YouTube and convert it to an MP3, which is exactly what I did. Yeah, that was Ric Flair. Good job, Richard. Thanks for playing along. Okay, should we... 29 minutes in front of 7 o'clock. I do want to get to some stories. Yeah, I do want to get to some stories. So let's do that. Anyone out there in Nova Scotia? Anyone living around in the Nova Scotia area? Specifically, Canso. Anyone living in Canso, Nova Scotia? Or know of anyone that perhaps lives in Canso, Nova Scotia? I'll just let you think about it for a minute. I'll just let you think. I'm just going to refresh my page here. Hang tight. Stay with me. It's the beauty. You know, I was thinking today, I was listening to C103 before coming in here. So it was like 4 o'clock. So it was 8 o'clock listening to the evening DJ at C103. And the last thing he said was, hey, I'm setting you up for an hour of continuous music. So this guy, I guess, he wouldn't say anything. What kind of a job would that be? That wouldn't be a lot of fun. Like to go into a radio station, I mean, you get paid for 4 hours or whatever. But to go in and be a disc jockey where you want to communicate with people, and then you start a song and you tell your audience, hey, here's a bunch of music, I'll be back in an hour. That's no fun. You can't do that here. It's live for 60 minutes. And I guess I could look at the screen and pretend that I'm doing something serious and waste 5 minutes, but the teleprompter is telling me to go, go, go. Go, go, go. But this is just silly. But I touched on this story in the very beginning of MattTv, and I came across it again last night. I probably shouldn't eat these Junior Mints doing the show, but they're so good. I can see why these are your favorite candy. Plus the microphone's far enough away that hopefully you can't hear too much chomping. But I did this story a few weeks ago, maybe even a month, 2 months ago. And all my stories come from cbc.ca, the website. I get all my stories from there. Basically at night, before going to bed, I just go to that website and scroll through and look for interesting stories. Look for interesting stories that are... I don't want anything that's going to cause conflict or have these lengthy discussions. I'm just not at that point yet. If you want, you can read the stories for yourself. You don't have to go by what I'm saying. I'm just trying to take current stories and apply them to you. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Anyway, this is a story that I did. This is really a follow-up. Give us the skinny on the scoop. Give us the skinny on the scoop. I'm going to write that down. Give us... What are you referencing, Sarah? Give us the skinny on the scoop. It's catchy. I love it. I'm just wondering what you're referencing. Hello, Miller. It's Miller time. Miller time. Junior Mints. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Junior Mints and Mints. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back and determine, news stories. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Okay, I see what you mean. Give me the skinny on the scoop. Hey, yeah, that's awesome, Sarah. I'm going to write that down and I'm going to use that because really all I'm doing is just skimming over stories I guess eventually I'd like to have in studio guests where I could actually bring someone in who has firsthand knowledge of the stories that I'm doing. But I'm gonna circle that and I'll use that the next show will definitely be that's how I'm gonna open up this segment. See, that's what I love. Cool, man. Brother Mike back in Alberta. Nice. I'm glad you're home, Mike. Glad you're home. Hopefully your flight was okay. Mine was a little white-knuckled going into TO, but glad you're back with Tanya and the kids. Enjoy the time that you have before you go back out into the field. I don't know if you have another week off, or I'm not sure what your schedule is because I don't work with you. Hey Ed, what's happening? So I'm going to give you the skinny on the scoop. Yeah, that's not mine. That's Sarah. Sarah gave that to me. I'm going to give you the skinny on the scoop, and this first scoop comes from Canso, Nova Scotia. Maritime Launch Services Limited. They have proposed a Canso spaceport, and it already has clients lining up. Now, when I read this story, I'm like, wow, this place hasn't even been built yet, and there's already people lined up to get into a rocket and be zipped out into the space. I thought, these people, they must have a lot of money, and they're just probably looking for a one-way ticket. But then I realized, then I read more of the story and realized that these clients were actually people that wanted to put space junk up into space. I mean satellites, not space junk. Eventually it will be. But they want to put satellites up into space. So here's what's going on. So right now, this proposed Canso spaceport must undergo extensive assessment before the projected 2020 launch date. So they're looking at launching 2020. That's like 3 years. That's less than 3 years away. So in June, there are a list of people who want to put satellites into space. That has not been revealed yet, but I think, according to this story, there will be an announcement in June, and we'll be able to find out what companies from whatever part of the world want to put satellites into space, but doing it from right here in Canso, Nova Scotia. It's a $100 million facility. $100 million. That was horrible. It's going to be 300 kilometers east of Halifax. And I thought this was interesting here. Canada's only other space launch site opened in 1956 near Churchill, Manitoba. It shut down in 1984. Now, the benefits of this spaceport, it would save money because companies wouldn't have to send their material to a U.S. launch site. But one of the things they have to talk about in their risk assessment, is commercial aircraft. Now again, this spaceport is going to be 300 kilometers east of Halifax. It's on the coast of Nova Scotia, so obviously a lot of planes coming and going from Europe, from across Canada. So commercial aircraft and aeronautical, all that stuff's going to have to be taken into account. So they are a long ways away from seeing this through. But that is what is in the works right now. So if you're in the Halifax area and a satellite is launching from 300 kilometers away, there's a real good chance you're going to see it. Real good chance you're going to see it because it'll be the only thing in the sky with a trail of fire behind it. So that's the first scoop. That's the skinny on the first scoop. All right, Richard, you have a good night, brother. 2211. 2211, you have that warm glass of milk and a cookie, and off you go. Off you go now. You have a good sleep. The Sandman will be in shortly. Yes. That's very Kevin Spacey. Okay, so I'm just going to shut that down. I'll get a quick update on TSN, what's going on with hockey. According to the TSN website, and this may be off by a little bit, 6.5 minutes left in the second period. It is still scoreless. Nashville, Anaheim. Okay, so we're just going to 20 minutes before 7 o'clock, and this night is just zipping by. I just want to change the pace a little bit. I want to talk about something serious, and it's happening out here in the Lower Mainland. It's happening not just here in British Columbia, but across the country. And I'm talking about paramedics and the stress that they have to deal with the situations that they see every day. Paramedics are getting new resiliency training due to the overdose crisis. So first responders are learning new techniques to handle stress amid unprecedented demand. And this is a story that is really just talking about the Vancouver area, because the drug problems out here are pretty crazy. But what they want people to do, what they want paramedics and first responders to do, is to recognize burnouts and compassion fatigue. Okay? When they notice that they are happening, they need to seek help. And now there are people in place to help those first responders and those paramedics. Last year alone in BC, there were 206 paramedics and dispatchers referred to counseling. That number could be higher, but the problem with some of these individuals is they don't want to appear weak, like they can't do their job. They want to hold everything in. We know that's not healthy. So that number of 206 paramedics and dispatchers who did were referred to counseling, that number may be higher, because there are those out there who haven't taken that step forward yet, haven't stepped out of the comfort zone, and haven't realized that, hey, you know what? It's okay. When you see a lot of traumatic stuff, it does something to your brain. And if there are people out there, if there are programs out there that can help you, just take that first step. Take that first step. They don't want to wait anymore. And one of the points in the story was they're getting this counseling now, but they've been asking for this for 3 years. For 3 years. And the reason they're getting it now, just let me find. Yes. So first responders in Vancouver are getting new support to deal with the overwhelming increase in stressful calls during the ongoing fentanyl overdose crisis. I wish I had some numbers on the individuals who have overdosed and died in Vancouver since the beginning of 2017. It is a staggering, it's a depressing, it's a very sad number of people who are playing Russian roulette. Russian roulette, doesn't matter if you're doing heroin, coke, meth, marijuana even. There's cross-contamination. Fentanyl is showing up, and it kills indiscriminately. It does not care how old you are. It doesn't care if you have a partner, if you have kids, your lifestyle. It doesn't care. So, if you're a drug user, know your dealer and be safe. There are safe injection sites out there. Do it safely. We know you have to do it. We know you have to do it. Because if you don't, the consequences are even worse. We could get into withdrawal. But again, those are topics and discussions that I want to have with people who know, that are in the field, and that's coming very soon. I guarantee. MattTv is going to get out. I'm going to go on the road. I'm going to get out of my garage, and I'm going to take MattTv wherever I want to go and interview whoever I want, because that's just, I've always had that ability. So I'm going to make use of it. Last week, Vancouver Fire and Rescue hired a new health and wellness coordinator to focus full-time on those issues. And for the first time, BC Emergency Health Services is offering paramedics and dispatchers a specially designed one-day course in resiliency that began this spring, starting with teams in Vancouver and Surrey. It was such an amazing program that it is now spread to communities in the Lower Mainland, and it's now jumping over and will be introduced to paramedics and dispatchers on the island. So I've just stepped away from my Facebook page here in a sec, so I just want to read. Wow, yeah, I have no doubt, Sarah. Yeah, there was actually just a story here a while ago where a female cop was, an inmate or someone in custody spit on her, spit in her face, and 9 months later she was dead. So, just it's bizarre. But I just there's a few other numbers here. And again, you can find this story on the cbc.ca website. And again, I'm just kind of skimming through these stories. I'm just trying to get a sense of my audience, how they feel on these stories. We can always come back. We've talked about post-traumatic stress disorder before, and there are people out there who would love to do phone interviews about that very topic. So I'm a one-man show right now. I'm a one-man show, and I try and fill 60 minutes, and sometimes it gets a little tight. Sometimes I wonder if I'm going to have enough material to get me through the night. I guess it all depends on how fast I talk. But serious topics, fun topics, and this topic here is it's a huge problem out here in the West Coast. Stress and trauma on these jobs is nothing new, but with British Columbia leading the country last year in reported suicides by first responders and the overdose crisis showing no signs of ending, there is a new focus and money to help. So, we thought the problem was bad with paramedics taking their lives just because they're not able to deal with the situations that they see on a daily basis, accumulated over months and years and years. They're taking their own lives because they just can't deal with it. Now, there's even more stress on the job because they're dealing with all these overdose cases of fentanyl. Like, they are responding to, at some points, literally 4 to 6 calls per shift. You're trying to save a life. You're trying to save 4 to 6 lives in a 12-hour shift. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the stress that these individuals are under? So, that being said, a tremendous shout out to all those individuals who are here to help those that can't in that moment of need. Paramedics need to remain calm. They need to know their training. And they need, if they are going to give us, if they're going to sacrifice their mental wellness over time to help us, then we need to put programs, we need to find money, and we need to get people on board to help these individuals. We have to help these individuals because they're helping us. That's just common sense. Just common sense. So, I am glad that the wheels are turning. Money is being invested. People are being hired. Groups are being formed to help paramedics and dispatchers who go through tremendous trauma on a daily basis to help us. So the least we can do is help them. So that is the skinny on the second scoop of my stories tonight. So moving right along, going right into Bell Media. Just get a quick update on the... Spoiler alert for anyone watching the hockey game. Actually, if you're watching me right now, you're probably not watching the hockey game. Anaheim has taken the lead. It's 1-0 Anaheim late in the second period. I love these 5 o'clock games because when my show finishes, I can just go in the house and watch the third period. And watch Nashville tie it up. Watch Nashville tie it up and go to overtime. It's the playoffs. The playoffs. You want to see the games go as long as they possibly can. Quickly talking about Bell customers. I am with TELUS. I'm not with Bell. But I was reading on the news, or I saw on the cbc.ca website, and again, I know what the time difference, the stories that I'm talking about, they're not breaking news. They're not breaking news. They are stories that have been out for 24 hours, 36 hours, a couple days. Like I said, at night, I just scroll through the internet and find stories that I find interesting, and maybe you'll find interesting as well. So, Bell customers, 1.9 million email addresses and approximately 1,700 names out online on the internet. That would frighten me. I wouldn't want my personal information out for anyone to see. How would that make you feel? Has anyone out there ever had identity theft? Has anyone ever had identity theft? And not from Melissa McCarthy. Not from Melissa McCarthy. Just curious. Yeah, so all this information was posted online. What else did I read? Ransomware infections affected 200,000 computers in more than 150 countries last week. That's got to be concerning. I would think that is a bit concerning. So any of the techies in the crowd. I'm just interested to this. It seems to be they don't know if it's one individual or a few, but whoever this anonymous hacker is, of course he's anonymous. He's not going to tell people who he is. He is a little bit ticked off with Bell because they're not, I'm not sure what the disagreement is. I'm sure it has something to do with some type of policy, some safety policy. So this is his way of getting back at Bell by hacking into their data system, getting all this information, and whoever this person is or persons are, they have said that there will be, they promise more leaks. So they've hacked into the bell.ca database and they have all this information. Allegedly, well, they've already posted a bunch online and they're threatening to put more online. So I'm just wondering what Bell has to do. Wow. Yeah, you know, with the technology and the things you put in, you know, debit cards, the skimmers that they used to put into the debit cards. We actually, a few years ago, we were the victim of a skimming. So basically what had happened is I had used my bank card at an ATM. That ATM already had a skimming device in there. So when I put my bank card in there, it told me that this machine was not in operation, blah, blah, blah. And the thieves took that information and took all the money out of our bank account. So that has happened. So no identity theft, but once someone obtained the information on our bank card and cleaned out our bank account. So that wasn't fun. Fraud in South Florida happens every 13 seconds. Wow. That's scary. Scary stuff. So, have you ever been hacked? I know people, sometimes people have their Facebook account hacked, or they just leave their page open and someone writes something silly. That's okay. That's okay. If someone hacks your Facebook page and puts up something goofy, you deserve it. You left your page open, and you will take whatever comes your way. I don't know, that sounds mean. 8 minutes away. 8 minutes. Again, I'm giving you the skinny on the scoop. And that was the third scoop of the night. This is the fourth and final scoop of the night. And thank you, Sarah, for that. I really appreciate that. That's going to come in handy. Real handy. This story here last night. This is going to be the last story. And when I read it last night, when I read the headline last night, I was lying in bed last night, going through my phone. This headline made me laugh. And I couldn't believe that they actually had to do a study to come up with the conclusion that you didn't need a study to do. Let me explain. Again, this is from the cbc.ca. This is the headline in big, bold words. In-person support better than texting for people under stress, study finds. So they're basically saying it is better, if you want support from someone, it's better if they are in front of you. In-person support, like shaking your hand, giving you a hug, like, yeah, you can do it. They're saying it's better than texting someone support. Yes. What made me laugh was the fact that they had to do a study. They had to do a study to figure that out. So, let's read. Let's read. UBC Okanagan researchers say if you want to help a friend who's experiencing a stressful time, put down the phone and talk face to face. Yes, that is common sense. Common sense. That's the conclusion of psychology professor Susan Holtzman, who in a pair of experiments put participants through the often stressful experience of public speaking. So, they're going to take 3 groups of people who all have to do public speaking, but how they are supported varies. And I'll get to the results right as soon as I tell you the variations. So before they addressed the crowd, participants were assigned to 3 groups. One group waited alone, another group got encouragement via text message, and another got in-person support. I'd want to be in that group, either from a trained research assistant or a friend. So you got one group with no one, a second group getting support in a text message, and the third group is actually talking in the room with a trained professional or a friend before getting and going on stage and doing the speech. Who do you think is going to fare better? Who do you think is going to fare better? Holtzman's research found that text encouragement was better than nothing, but she wanted to do research to see if the growing prevalence of text message communication means anything for relationships and mental health. I want to get you some numbers here. I want to break this down. So people felt significantly happier, relaxed, and calm when they had that in-person support, which is the group that I'd want to be in. They felt significantly happier, relaxed, and calm when they had that in-person support. The text people fared better than the individual who didn't have any support at all. So when you think about it, you break it down. If you're getting ready to go on stage and you have a big speech, you're nervous, and you don't have anyone, there's no outlet, there's no one there giving you any support, any encouragement, there's no sounding board, you're probably not going to fare very well. If you're in the group where you are getting a text from an individual and they're just giving you like a thumbs up emoji, well, that's better than nothing. You know that there is at least someone there with you through technology, but they're not with you. The only people in that study that are going to benefit are those that are surrounded by other people, or at least one person. You just need that one person to calm you down, reassure you that everything's going to be okay. Talking in front of a crowd is not the end of the world. But I can tell you right now, that group that had the in-person support, that is the group that will always succeed. But the reason I brought that story up, I just thought it made me laugh. I thought it was kind of silly. But there are counselors out there who are trying to push this texting support. I don't agree with that. You're not going to... How many text messages have you sent that have been misinterpreted? You see examples of that on Facebook all the time. These silly texts back and forth between dads and daughters and moms and sons and blah, blah, blah. Text words can be misinterpreted if they are not flowing out of your mouth. Only then can someone really get a sense of how you feel when they hear the words, when they feel the words. Can't do that in a text. So, if I had the option, if I knew one of my friends was getting ready to do something for the first time and he was super nervous, I would be there in person. If at all possible, I would be there in person. My next option would be, I wouldn't text. I would call them on the phone and talk to them. Talk to them in a calm, reassuring voice. Just like this one. 6:59. We are less than 60 seconds away from this show. I hope you had fun. I know I was kind of all over the place, but there is something going to be added new, and I want to thank Sarah Sampson for bringing this to my attention. The stories now, when I get to the news, when I get to the news segments of the night, it's now going to be, I'm going to give you the skinny on the scoop. I'm going to give you the skinny on the scoop. And some nights the skinny or the scoop, some night I might only have 2 or 3 scoops. Some night I might have 4 or 5 scoops. But you're just going to get the skinny on each of those scoops, because I'll leave it up to you. If you want to delve in and do more research on the stories, we're just scratching the surface. I was trying to do a DJ with the record. No? We're just scratching the surface. And again, you can go to cbc.ca and get all the same stories. All the stories that I'm talking about are right there on the cbc.ca website. Why do I go to the CBC? Because I've never done anything to lie to me. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow night. I can tell you that we will do the last 24, brought to you by Nick. We'll do Wayne the Great product plug, Toby's Edmonton weather, William's wacky soundbite of the night, and I'll give you the skinny on the scoop. That's all I have, folks. That's all I have. I am completely out of time. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you for all the live views. If you like what you see in here, please share it. Please share it. This is my fun zone. This is my happy time. My happy time. My name is Matthew. This is Matt TV. Now and always, from sea to sea. Bye-bye.